So today we're going to do a family classic. We're going to make macaroni cheese, or mac and cheese as it's become known. What we're going to do, this is going to be done in a few sections, okay? So we're going to need some breadcrumbs, you're going to need some macaroni, and you're going to need a nice cheese sauce. So we're going to do this in 3 different sections, and we'll start off with the breadcrumbs. So once your breadcrumbs have been decanted, what you're going to want to do is you're going to get some onion granules, and we're going to add 1 teaspoon of these into your breadcrumbs. 1 good generous teaspoon. 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Mix that together. Okay, so once your breadcrumbs are all seasoned, what we're going to do next is we're going to fry off our 150 grams of streaky bacon, which we diced up a little bit earlier. So you want to get your pan nice and hot. You're not going to want any oil in this because this bacon is going to make its own. So what we're going to do is tip our bacon straight in and fry it off. So there we are, our bacon is pretty much cooked now, gone nice and brown, nice and crispy. So what we're going to do is we're going to add our 50 grams of butter and our 50 grams of plain flour, make a nice thick paste, and then put our milk into that and make a nice sauce. So once that butter has melted into the bacon, what we're going to do is we're going to add in our flour. What we're going to do, we're going to keep mixing this now, and this sauce is going to thicken, and we're going to end up with a really nice, thick, white bacon sauce to which we can add our cheese. And there we are. So once our sauce has thickened quite nicely, which it has, we can then add our cheese, and we've got 300 grams of cheese. I've used some double Gloucester cheese and some mature cheddar cheese. Okay, so first of all, we'll add our double Gloucester, get the whole lot in there, mix that in. And then we'll add our mature cheddar. Okay, so that cheese doesn't really need to melt too much. We can take this straight off the heat now, pop a lid on it and set it aside while we sort out our macaroni. So while our sauce is cooling down slightly, set aside, what we're going to need to do is to cook our macaroni. We're going to need 250 grams of macaroni for this dish, and we're going to need to get a pan of boiling water on the stove to cook it in. And now that water's boiling, we can add our 250 grams of macaroni. Okay, so with the lid on it, you're going to leave this boiling nice and steadily, okay? And we're going to cook this for 10 minutes, which is about 2 or 3 minutes less than the manufacturer's recommendation, because we want it slightly undercooked. Once it's cooked, we're going to drain it off. We're going to get it into our cheese sauce. Okay, so our macaroni has been boiling for about 10 minutes or so now. It's time to get it off. I've got a colander down here in the sink. I'm going to whip it off, drain it, get it in the cheese sauce. Okay, so back over at the stove, we've got our cheese sauce, which is back on the heat. We've got our macaroni, we can just get that lot in there, and then we're ready to put the whole dish together along with our breadcrumbs. Let's do it. So, once that's all mixed together, okay, and all your macaroni is covered in all of that lovely cheese sauce, it's time to get yourself a ladle and an oven dish. We're going to ladle this into an oven dish, ready for the breadcrumb topping. Glorious. Lots of macaroni in there. Get it all into that dish. You know, and this is already smelling pretty beautiful. We haven't got our breadcrumbs on top of it yet. Can't wait for it to be baked. So, with your macaroni cheese all in your oven dish ready to go, what you can do at this point is put it in the fridge for half an hour, let it cool down a little bit before you stick your breadcrumb topping on there, because that'll stop the breadcrumbs sinking into the macaroni cheese too much. And for your breadcrumbs, what you're going to need to do is get yourself a mixing bowl and 60 grams of melted butter. Get that butter into there. Your breadcrumbs that you prepared earlier into the butter. Mix all of that together with a fork. Get them well coated in butter. So, all that's left to do is to coat the top of this macaroni cheese with your breadcrumbs, bake this in the oven at 180 degrees, 25 minutes, till those breadcrumbs are beautiful and golden brown. Enjoy.